Hi, this is Brian, and I'm here with Tandem. This video is going to cover a comprehensive overview of not only what Tandem can do, but also how to set it up. So it's going to be a little bit longer in length, but we know time is of the essence, so let's get started. Now, at your organization, lots of events happen every day, and Tandem was really built for you and your entire staff that's in charge of managing your rooms, your buildings, your equipment, your groups. It's really there to help organize everything that you've got going on in one master calendar. And this way, everyone is looking at the exact same calendar, so everything is scheduled appropriately and nothing gets double booked. Your entire organization can use Tandem to request and approve rooms and facilities along with equipment. Custom approval flows can be built within Tandem to make sure each request is routed to the exact person it needs to go to, and they can all approve it inside of Tandem. Finally, Tandem is available for your entire community to see and subscribe to events to get notifications in case anything changes, like a change of time or a change of location. So let's take a quick look at how to set up Tandem and also how it gets used every day. Now, you may have already done this, so bear with me if you have, but in order to set up Tandem, first go to tandem.co and click the sign up button on the website. If you've done this, you'll notice that it just takes an email, a first name, a last name, a password, naming your organization, selecting a little selector about the type of the organization that you're scheduling, and then signing up. From there, you're actually dumped directly into a blank calendar, which is your first experience inside of actually using Tandem. Now, when you need to log back into Tandem, in case your browser doesn't remember your username and password, simply travel back to tandem.co and click the login button in the upper right-hand screen. And there you can enter your email address and your password and log back in. So now let's get started on just really how to set up Tandem. I want to highlight that there are really four major sections where you'll be using Tandem. And the first and most important that everyone uses Tandem for is to add an event. So if you want to actually add events, in the upper left-hand part of the screen, you'll see the Add Event wizard, and by clicking on that, it'll take you directly to the Add Event wizard where you'll be entering in a lot of information. This is very useful after we really get your account set up properly for the first time. So let's hold off on adding an event for now until I've shown you just a little bit about where to add and customize some of your own facility and group data. Further, if there are any requests that come in directly for you, they will actually land in the request area. Here I've selected on it, and it showcases that really you've approved and accepted all of the event requests that have come in directly for you. Any of your staff members who are in charge of approving rooms, equipment, or groups will receive their requests in this area here. And then finally, the calendar, which we're looking at a calendar now that has a lot of events already inputted in it, as just an example to show you what it looks like once you've gotten a fair number of events added. And this can be searched and clicked through to select different months and filter down to show specific events or specific locations. So those are really the three main sections in the upper left-hand corner that you'll be using. But to get started, what we want to do is actually select in the setup area really where you're going to be adding a lot of the custom groups and information, which is underneath your profile. So by selecting your profile here, we're going to click into the My Organization area and begin to really follow the setup guide, which you'll notice is here on the lower right-hand corner. And should you have any questions, this is a really great area that we've set up for you to follow a step-by-step setup guide to set up your account appropriately. So let's dive into My Organization. By clicking on the My Organization area, what you'll notice is that there's a very vertical amount of space with a lot of areas that you can select into. We're not going to select into all of them right away, but I want to focus right now on really the top 4 that I want to direct your attention to, starting with your people. So by selecting into your people, this is the area where all of your staff members and community members can be added into your Tandem account. And to do this, you simply want to click Add. Now once you click Add, you'll notice that there's 2 selectors, one for your internal staff and one for your community. Now just to explain a quick difference about who a staff member is and what a community member is. A staff member is really any member of your organization that has a permission to log into Tandem and see public and private events, or if you want to assign to your staff member some permissions to approve events in specific rooms, approve specific equipment, or if you want to assign scheduling permissions to a specific group or team inside of your organization. Your community member is actually any member who is outside of your organization. That can be outside people in the public, parents, students, anyone that really wants to know about the event information and events that are going on inside and outside your organization, but also just anyone who wants to follow and track what's going on with your organization. So if they're really employees, we really strongly suggest adding them into Tandem. And if they're students or community members or members of your organization, really want to add them as community. So let's dive into adding a staff member. So staff members can be added simply by adding their email, their first name, and their last name into Tandem. If you have the cell phone, you're certainly welcome to use it, but because it's not bold, it's not required. Now here's the really important part. Each member of your staff has 3 distinct types of permissions that you can assign to them. The first is as an admin. And as an admin, it really goes to show that that admin has full permissions. They can enter, edit, delete, view. Really, they can do everything inside of your account. So be sure to choose your admins wisely, but make sure that anyone that really has admin privileges amongst your staff has been added as an admin. Secondly, if a person is not an admin, but they still have responsibility to approve or edit specific either events or specific groups, they can be added as a scheduler. Now, you'll notice when I select scheduler, several things come up down below. This allows me to take this person and really assign them the scheduling rights to, let's say, the Clyde Hill B101 building, for example. This means that any event that is scheduled in the Clyde Hill B104 building will be routed to this scheduler, and they will receive a request in their request area that asks them to approve, edit, or decline that event request. So if you have particular people on your staff who maybe are not admins, but they are actually approvers or schedulers of specific equipment or rooms or groups, we recommend assigning those permissions here. And finally, if you have someone on your staff who may not be in charge of approving or editing specific events or events in particular rooms, they can be added as a private viewer. Now, a private viewer is still a member of your staff, and they have the ability, once they log into Tandem, to see both the public and the private events, which is an event type that we'll cover when we talk about adding events. So these 3 distinctual type of permission sets give you the ability to add every single member of your organization and assign them a particular permission set. We know that this sometimes takes a little bit of time to adjust forward and backwards and up and down the permission sets of particular people. But over time, we find that people find a really happy, cohesive team working system when it comes to Tandem. So that's your overview of how to add people. It is also worth noting that once you do click Add on this person's particular account, Tandem will send them automatically an email that asks them to set up their own personal Tandem account. And that email address that you've added, that person will be assigned those permissions automatically. So After adding your staff, let's go over and actually look at how to add community members. We can either get there by hitting this back button or selecting back into organization. So what I'll do is I'll go back, and here's where you add your community members. So by clicking in here, what you'll notice is it looks very similar to adding your staff, but the permission type here, after you add an email, first name, and last name, is really a public viewer or a group member. Now, a group member is somebody who is on the baseball team. Say, for example, a student who's on the baseball team or someone that's a part of your CPA class. This person is attending all the events for that group member, but they aren't in a position to adjust or edit those events that are coming to them. So by selecting group member, what you'll notice is that the groups area is actually it shows up below this person's account. And as an admin, you can actually go through and say, I want to actually select this person to be in our singing group. By selecting this singing group and adding this person as a group member, they will get an email that asks them to sign up for Tandem to import all those particular events into their personal calendar, like Outlook or Google Calendar or Apple's Calendar on any of their devices. So this is a really, really great way to keep your community members who are actually doing events on behalf of your organization engaged and have those events on their personal calendar. Finally, what you'll notice is there's a public viewer, and this is for anybody who you know is just a fan or wants to track when the events are going on at your community. And they can also be emailed as well too, and it will send them notifications when those events are added or if they're actually updated as well on your calendar. So that's adding people in your community. I do want to point out one particular thing, and that is by adding a group member as opposed to a public viewer, your group members will receive both the public and the private events for the group that they are a part of. So for example, if this BCS Singers group had a private practice that all the group members were going to practice their singing before their performance, your group members will receive those private events to their personal digital calendars like Outlook and Google. Whereas if I'm defining this person as a public viewer and adding them to the same singers group, they will only receive the events that are publicly available, like the performances. So again, this is a really great way of providing your community, who some are doing the events and some want to come and just view and participate in the events, a great permission set so you can actually utilize all the events on your calendar and send them correctly to the right people. So that's adding your community. Now let's take a turn and look at adding your facilities and buildings. Really at the heart of what Tandem can do to help keep you organized and everything scheduled without double booking is managing what is going on in your specific buildings and in the rooms inside of your buildings. And all of this is really built and managed inside of your facilities section. Facilities section is a complete list of every building with an address that your organization owns, along with each one of the rooms inside of those buildings. So in order to build this out so it can be used by your organization, what you want to do is select from the add area, search for a particular building with an address or location with an address that your organization owns. For this example, I'm going to use a local high school here in the greater Seattle area called Woodinville High School. And we're reading from the Google Places Maps API, just the locations here so you can select which locations you actually manage and own. So I'm going to select Woodinville High School, and Tandem is going to automatically add that high school along with its address into my facilities area. Now it's not just only that you're managing this actual high school, for example, but we also want to make sure that we build out the particular rooms and facilities inside of that high school so we can make sure that we schedule them appropriately. So for example, I'm sure Woodinville High School has a gym. So what I'm going to do is actually add the gym here. Now, by adding the gym, what you'll notice is the gym has become a sub-facility underneath the Woodinville High School. And I've done that by clicking over here to add a sub-facility. And what you'll notice about these sub-facilities is not only can they be individual sub-facilities, but you can even get it as granular as this example down here by the Clyde Hill campus, that we have a gymnasium as well as the courts 1, 2, and 3. And each one of these can be dragged and dropped accordingly. So if you want to move them up or down, do them that way. We recommend that you add each individual building or location with an address directly into your facilities area, as well as then build out the list of all the sub-facilities here. It's going to be incredibly helpful and useful here when we start adding events. Now what you'll notice on the facility, while we're still in the facilities area, you'll notice that there's a little icon next to the Woodinville High School gym. This allows me to add a particular approver or scheduler directly to the Woodinville High School gym. So if I know or someone needs to be notified directly that this needs to be, they need to approve it by getting requests in their request area. This is the area where you'd add your staff member who's in charge of scheduling this facility. And this can both be done here or in the people area underneath staff that we covered previously in this video. So next, after you've been able to add in all of your locations and all of your sub-facilities, let's take a look at the next section that really drives not only where the events are happening, but who is actually doing the events. And that's inside of your groups area. Groups are really the collection of people that formulate teams, such as like soccer teams, or clubs like a math club or a singing club, or a particular class like a CPA class or a training class. Think of groups as a collection of people that your organization is in charge of scheduling. So by clicking into groups, what you'll notice is that your locations and your areas are actually broken down, and you can see the particular groups. For example, this is a high school. You can see the particular high school groups that have been defined here. You have things like a golf team or a JV basketball team, or perhaps that singing team that we referenced earlier. Now, to define your groups, what you want to do is click on the Add a Group button in the upper right-hand corner and simply name this group. So I'm going to name this group Drama Club. Let's just add a Drama Club in here. And that group now becomes a group inside the high school, and I'll show you later here coming up in this video on where to select them inside of Add Event. But let's reference the earlier part of this video where we talked about community members. So on the right, what you'll notice is the ability to actually add from your groups area a scheduler for this particular drama club. So if there's a team manager or somebody that's really in charge of making sure that all the practices and the additional plays or performances for this drama club are scheduled in the appropriate place, that's the person you want to add as the appropriate scheduler. And if there's additional members of the drama club, such as the students in this case, what you want to do is go ahead and add them in the members area. And if you have any community members, parents, or people in your community that you know would really enjoy seeing what the drama club is performing, then those are people that we would add in the follower section. So let's take a look at the final piece of the setup process for your organization, and that really has to do with your equipment. Now, equipment is any resource that your organization owns that has a specific quantity associated with it. For example, equipment can be like folding tables or basketballs or folding chairs. Now, to add equipment, simply click on the Add button in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to add microphone. And I'm going to say that our school district, let's just say we have 10 microphones. By simply adding microphones here, what you'll see is both the title and the quantity has been defined. And like groups or facilities, in the upper right hand corner, you can actually assign a scheduler as well to these microphones. So if you know someone is particularly in charge of particular equipment at your organization, simply define them as a staff member here, and they will again get the requests in their inbox for any type of event that needs microphones associated with it. So that's the equipment area. So now, after all that setup, let's finally start looking at what happens when you want to start using not only your equipment, but your groups, your facilities, and the people that you've defined inside of your organization. And all that happens inside of Add Event. So the Add Event wizard inside of Tandem it looks small to begin with, but I think when you'll see, it's a very, very robust and powerful tool that allows you to click and select all of the custom resources that you've defined inside of your organization. So, for example, I'm actually going to create a drama, we'll say like it's a drama practice. And that drama practice is going to happen next Thursday inside of the Woodinville High School gym that we have actually selected. And here you'll see exactly that the Woodinville High School gym is available because I myself have defined it inside of my organization. So here you'll notice all of your facilities and all of their sub-rooms are available for you to choose inside of the location area. So I'm going to select the Woodinville High School gym. Not only that, I'm going to select the drama club that I define in my groups area. And you'll notice that by searching for it, I can actually select it, as well as inside of the facilities, I had a little drop down as well. And finally, to find more options, I'm going to actually select the equipment that I defined as well too. So what you'll notice is there's the microphone that's available, and there's a selector for the quantity. So if I know that we're going to need 6 microphones for this event, that's a drama practice, I've actually selected now drama practice from this day from 12 until 1 p.m. It's in the gym. It's associating with the drama club who's actually doing the event. And I've selected the equipment needed, which is here a microphone, and the number of them is 6. So once I hit add, that event gets added directly onto the calendar because there is no conflicts associated with it. And if I click on my calendar, what you'll notice is there is the newly added event, and it is colored slightly yellow and orange because we want to point out that it is a new event on your calendar. And that orange will go away after about it's approximately 48 hours. Now that we have a drama practice scheduled for Thursday from 12 until 1 p.m., I'd like to pretend that an additional admin or an additional approver or scheduler was actually logging into your Tandem account later and decided to try to schedule something in that same facility, which is the gym, just to show you what it would look like when there's an actual conflict. So let's say that the basketball team decides that they want to have a practice as well too. And they choose the exact same day and exact same time. Here they could actually select from the list the Woodinville High School gym. And what you'll notice is instantly Tandem is going to alert them, or you for that matter, that there is going to be a conflict with this basketball practice in that gym itself. Tandem does give you the ability to override the conflict if you're an admin, because we want to give you the most amount of flexibility when it comes to your calendar. But there should be a peace of mind knowing that there's really no way for anyone to schedule something on your calendar and have 2 events be double booked. So now that you've been able to see exactly Tandem in action, what I wanted to do is just point out that there is some additional areas here inside of your organization that offer some more advanced functionalities that this video won't cover now, but we'll cover in a subsequent video. And that is things like event tools, your community building tools, anything customization, types or tags. There's just a lot more that Tandem can do. But I wanted to end this video with just directing you to the setup guide. We've built out a very robust setup guide to walk you through the step-by-step process of setting up your Tandem account. And much of the first part of this has been covered inside of this video. But what you'll notice is there is some in-app tours as well as some additional shorter video tours of each one of the steps that we've covered here. And I'd like to encourage you, when you get a chance, to particularly follow the setup guide, because that will be the best way to get your Tandem account up and running as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching this video. We're very, very excited that you've started in on using Tandem, and by all means, make sure to contact our team with our chat icon or via email should you have any questions. Good luck setting up Tandem, and we look forward to hearing about how well it's going.